Hello, Truth Seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, if you drop the right and wrong perspective in you, what are you left with? Take a moment and ask yourself this question. What are you left with when you drop the right and wrong mind? Just by asking this question, dropping the logics puts you in the gap between thoughts. That gap is the blank canvas, which is the consciousness itself. Another name for the consciousness is the observer in you, which is you. And resting between thoughts as an observer is spiritual freedom. It's enlightenment. You can rest as an observer with that question, what am I left with when I drop my right and wrong perspective in me? Boom, you're there. But you'll forget, and you pick up your thoughts and you narrate the story, and basically you move away from who you are. Thoughts is the trigger point that makes you forget. And not to forget, definitely there has to be some more work of undoing the conditionings, undoing the mind, especially the ingrained belief in oneself. Because of the ingrained belief, which are the thoughts, which makes us align with the thoughts and move outwardly and forget that blank canvas of who we are, which is again the consciousness. And the nature of the consciousness is conscious and empty. And that part of you is conscious and empty without the mind. Momentary anchoring is there with that question, what am I left with when I drop my belief? Notice the reason to be part of the meditation is to rest between thoughts, isn't it? Probably you have heard this saying, resting between thoughts is true freedom. Resting between thoughts is aligning with the divine. Resting between thoughts is resting in consciousness. Resting between thoughts is aligning with God. It is true. Resting between thoughts, it is true freedom. And you're trying in your meditation to rest between thoughts. But your trying is happening with a lot of control, isn't it? You're controlling your body. Your focus is in the body. And that focus is making you forget the mind. But you don't realize that focusing on the body itself is the mind. You're adding that idea in your mind, and then you controlling the body. You're definitely cutting down the ripples of the mind and help you settle from too many thoughts to simple thoughts. Or any meditation practice techniques are helping you to settle. And also you probably get this glimpse of nothing. But you're not able to make that glimpse permanent in you. Even you are that, you're not able to make it permanent. And why? Why are you failing? What is making you fail to rest in that gap is the conditioning. Again, conditioning is the ingrained belief. The mind will resurface again and again. You know that, isn't it? When you sit in meditation, when you control yourself, you minimize the mind, even move to no mind. But suddenly there's an idea resurface again. And then when the idea resurface, you listen to the idea and then you create the story on that idea. And then you realize that, oh, I'm creating a story with that idea. And then you come back to simplicity. So simplicity, complexity is the experience from your meditation, including the moment of no mind. And you're trying so hard to create that gap between thoughts, but you experience the struggle. You're struggling to expand the gap. And by the way, you cannot expand the gap. The enlightenment journey or waking up to the truth is not expanding the gap. It's about seeing the faults in you. When you see all the faults in you, that seeing all faults in you makes you get rid of the faults, which help you to rest in the truth, to recognize the truth. And that's the enlightenment journey. The enlightenment journey is about peeling all the layers from your mind to see the unchanging reality in you, which is no mind, which is that gap. So forcing yourself into meditation to expand that gap is the failure. It's never going to happen to see the raw nature of the absolute truth, or the raw nature of who you are. The journey is about undoing. Recognize you listen to your idea. Your idea makes you lose yourself in the idea when the story is prolonged from that idea, isn't it? You are mentally, emotionally in that drama. So if you realize what I'm saying is true, then you can realign yourself, reorient yourself to the simple practice called self-inquiry. Self-inquiry is the path to deconstruct the mind, to move towards the emptiness. deconstructing the ego. Deconstructing the mind is deconstructing the ego. So, invite self-inquiry. That means question yourself. Question your struggle. Question your fear. Question your attachment. Question your experience of friction, conflict. You are going through all kinds of experience in your life. There's a joyful experience, no doubt, but also there is the experience of struggle, pain, fear. So whatever experience you go through in your life, you investigate, you examine your experience by asking yourself, why am I experiencing this conflict, this fear, this fluctuation? Make it personal. And, questioning itself is inquiring about yourself. An enlightenment journey is about understanding yourself thoroughly, which is understanding the mind thoroughly. And when you understand the mind thoroughly and see the nature of the mind, the process will help you to let go the unnecessary mind. You create a space. You create a space for further journey. If you have too much going on, if you have too much in your head, you have no room for clarity. So self-inquiry will help you to make you understand the nature of the mind, how the mind comes into existence, how the mind becomes real. You understand that. Through the understanding, then there is a natural way to let go without the fight. Then simplicity comes in. Then simplicity gives you more space to continue the work. After simplicity, you have to continue your work of dismantling the mind. And when you do the enough deconstructing work of the mind, that becomes a real foundation to wake up. And if you do this part of deconstructing enough, then when you ask yourself, who am I? And that's where you click. When you click, the ego self in you gives up. The ego self giving up means giving up the mind. Giving up the mind means giving up the thoughts. You don't see any truth in the mind. You don't see the truth in the ideas. You don't see the truth in your belief. When you don't see the truth in it, then all ideas in you are like just the pockets of clouds in the sky, just moving, but you're not clutching into those ideas. And that makes you rest in who you are as a blank canvas, which is empty. And that itself is a consciousness, or the observer side of you, which is the consciousness itself, which is conscious. You are a conscious being. Only by seeing the truth will make you rest between the gap with ease. You don't need a reminder to rest in the gap. You become the gap. And if you pick up the idea You know you are picking up the idea. You don't forget who you are. If needed to pick up the idea, you know you're picking up the idea. You know it's not real. But you need that to be part of the world. As a reference, as an ally. The mind becomes an ally, not the source of conflict anymore. You see real and you see the false, and life is free. So, to make yourself free or to rest between gap, self-inquiry is the simple and thorough approach. So, sitting down in meditation, controlling the body to rest between the thoughts is a failure. Okay, you know it doesn't help you. Momentary glimpse might be there, but the glimpse you forget again and again. So to make it a permanent, deconstructing the mind must be there, which is deconstructing the ego. Okay? Anyway, I hope this video makes sense to you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care for now. Bye.